Evening, this is Board of Selectmen's meeting, Monday, October 17th, 2022, 6 p.m. Purpose of this meeting is to go over budgets. We have anything else besides that, Jim?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. We don't. And in the interest of preventing flipping back and forth, we're just going to go through the tabs one at a time.
Okay.
Through general government, and then planning and zoning, and finance and IT. So the first one up would be the executive budget.
Okay, 100 series is salaries, 200 series Social Security, unemployment, workman's comp, 300 legal, outside services, cable.
In the 100 series for all of them, you'll see, we're nowhere near using our clerical salaries, and I'm wondering whether we shouldn't put a statement for the Budget Committee in the beginning so they know that all those clerical lines are going to be, some of them not used at all because we literally don't have somebody to fill them.
Yeah, we can certainly put notations in on that. Right now, Amy's doing a lot of the minute taking for the Board of Selectmen, and we're simply not able to fill the position. So we can certainly put a narrative into that and be able to explain it as well.
Well, it may just be in the front for all clericals, and then you can just list them, then to have to go through all the budgets in that way. Whatever works.
Okay.
Okay, we're up to 400, 500, 600, office supplies, 800,
Does anybody want in 872? Anybody want any explanation, or are they clear with what Wolfeboro Waters is asking for and the Milfoil Committee, why they're not asking for as much? For those, that backup information clear to everybody?
yep.
Okay.
Okay, 800 series,
Just a question too, Linda, on that. On the Wolfeboro Waters 872,
Yep.
the same thing you just talked about with the clerical stuff. Budgeted 2022 for 18,650 and have only spent 64,73 so far.
It's going to, there's a bunch of, there's 5,000 for Bigelow Labs, another 2,000 for the UNH, so that budget is going to be, and then there are some supplies. So I expect that, to be,
up there.
yeah, to be just about all used up. Mm-hmm.
okay.
Next budget, page 10, Town Manager.
Town manager, 100 series, 200, 300, 400, 500, printing and dues, 600, 800. Okay. Okay, 100.
We don't, Pat's not here. The only one that I look at is the part-time wages, and she hadn't used it for quite a while, and I think she got restaffed, so maybe, I'm not going to change them, but you may want to get a better explanation before it goes to the Budget Committee.
Yeah, she just hired somebody.
Yeah, and that wouldn't come out of part-time wages, it would come out of hourly, that's
Right.
why. Sometimes for vacation, she's had to
Yep.
use it, so maybe, because she wasn't, it went out of another line, but I think it would be good to have an explanation.
It's usually the supervisors of the checklist or what's in part-time wages. What's their hours and they're updating the checklists.
I I'm just looking at the history and figuring maybe there needs to be an explanation in there, because they did 600 plus last year, and they've only done 300. And you know we have one more election to do, and they're looking for 2,500 something, so.
I think the other thing that we may be able to use to help justify that, during COVID, those trustees, or those
Okay.
people
Yep.
were in here doing a lot of absentee ballot work versus
Okay.
collecting them on the stage, but I will get clarification from Pat
Yeah,
on that.
I think I just get an explanation
Yep.
ready.
200 series, 300, 400,
The 300 series, it is outside services. And I'm wondering, have we been updating the town ordinance on a yearly basis?
Yes, we actually just received them like
Okay,
within the month, so yes,
Okay.
they have been updated.
thank you.
500, 600, 700, 800,
19,
assessing, 100, wages, 200, insurances, social security, 300, telephone,
300 on the cyclical update collection. Have we increased the number of properties?
Yeah, would you, Todd?
We're doing 25% of the town, so there's roughly 6,000 parcels. Might be a little bit, that's a round number, maybe like 5,800 or something like that, so.
So we've increased the number of parcels that you've been having to assess?
No, we've been doing about, just under 1,500 a year, just to check the data,
Okay,
except we haven't been doing it in the year of the update. So that's why in 2020, you see a much lower line.
okay. I just thought were increasing the number of parcels. I just-
We'll do 25%. I mean, like I said, it's a round number, 1,500, could be 1,475 or 1,450. I usually like to do a map at a time, so it could be more or less, without
Okay.
leaving a half a map undone.
And are you done for this year?
Nearly.
Oh,
Nearly done.
okay. I was just looking at the numbers spent to date, that's why the question. Okay.
okay, 400 series, 500, 600,
On 620, office supplies, 5-drawer, replacement of file cabinet, are you going through and replacing a series one a year, or what's the,
She needs two, so yeah, so we'll do one year until she gets replaced.
because the other ones are worn out, or is she adding? Broken. Thank you.
800. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
That was easy.
Okay. 100 series. 200. 300. 400. 500. 600. 700. 800.
Budget decrease.
Yeah, that's why I have no question.
Budget decrease.
Why would you have any problem?
I do believe that Brenda has a capital outlay
Yes, she
that we
does.
should discuss at this point as well.
What page? Thank you.
utility billing software conversion for $40,000.
It is a big help you having the page numbers, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Called the page master in my old job.
I like it. You get a star for it.
Yeah, certainly do. Just a quick overview, Brenda, of what this,
So in 2022, this last year, we replaced the software, we updated our software for the property taxes. So now we're looking at different options for the utilities. The current software we've had for like the last 26 years, and we've had several upgrades, but in looking at the overall market and whatnot, there may be some better choices for us financially and whatnot. So I do have, there was included with this, there was one particular company that we have been looking at, and they were kind of middle of the road. I do have other ones, and we will do a little bit more exploration of the companies that we might employ, but it will be similar to what we did with the property taxes for the utilities.
And just to add on, this will be charged off to probably prorated based on the invoices for water, sewer, and electric. This will not be on the taxpayer because this is utility.
This is for utilities only, yeah.
Okay, so utility.
okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda.
Going back to page 28 under general government, legal expense.
Okay. 300 series.
So as you recall, last year, we tried to merge all of the legal into a single line and, or a single account, and had the lines within the various disciplines. And this is in line with DRA being able to report out how much we actually spend on legal.
Now, we look like we're doing well this year. Do you expect a lot of other legal expenses to come in the last couple months?
I do. So we're going to be going into union negotiations. We're going to be doing more warrant article drafting. So the last 2 months of the year are pretty intensive as far as legal's concerned.
I have a question on planning. They've spent 9 this year, they're looking for 16. Are there specific cases you're expecting to come out, and that's why you raised it to 16?
Did not. I'm the one who did the allocation, and I did it based on trending. So no, I am not aware of any certain cases.
Okay. You did it on trending, right? Not on specific cases, and I asked, just other years, we know we have X number of cases, or we have some we're concerned about, and therefore we would raise what you had another year because we thought something was coming.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be a deer in the headlights, but there are a lot of questions that end up going to, it's the same counsel for both the zoning board and the planning board. Sometimes it becomes more of a general planning question that relates to a ZBA question, so I'm not sure where I don't understand the trending in this. But generally speaking, there might be a planning question that actually solves a ZBA question.
So between the two, you have 21,000. You spent, 12. That's why my question's coming up, and that's why I asked, is there something coming down the pike that you're specifically concerned about?
Not necessarily, but quite honestly, it only takes one abutter to potentially soak all of that if there is a case. So we try and do everything we can to not meet the legal budget.
Is there any way that we can get the 2019, 20, and 21 actuals? At that point, they were in the individual budgets, and we could see a trend.
Yes, and when you look at those, that's actually what KC and I used to come up with the 5,000 and now the 16.
But that would justify to, one, me, and two, to the Budget Committee, that
Actually, no. If you have to go back further than that. If you go back to 19, they're all going to look shy of $5,000. But if you go back, I want to say 2015, 2016,
You do a 5-year average. I'm looking at those 5-year.
well, that's why I generally disagree with that. Because
Well-
if you go back 6 years, there's a whopper in there, which is an anomaly year, I will give it. But
I guess I'm
We can
looking,
put those statistics together.
I think it is to justify that, that it's significant higher than, well, I don't know what you budgeted last year. That was a problem with this last year. I don't have a budgeted amount for last year. Last year, you just did a group amount.
That's correct.
And so it's hard to compare. That's, I think, and so that's why I was looking for the other ones, so that you can kind
And
of
we will see them when we get down to planning and zoning. You could at least see the 3 years prior.
Okay, so
Or
we
you can
have
see
to write it.
19, 20, 21. I'm just happen to be looking at zoning board back here. But yes, we can make it clearer if that's what you like. If you want a revisit on this?
I'd like to revisit it, and I would like to see those other years, and so we can see the trending and justification. Is that okay with everybody else?
Put that on the list.
Just a quick question, probably for Jim, if we get into any legal fees for private roads coming in for being taken over, would that end up falling under the general government legal expense line? Yep.
That would be correct, Brad, because it's really a Board of Selectmen decision.
Page 30. Personnel administration. This is insurance, life insurance, dental insurance.
So this one, with our health and dental insurance, mid-November, we usually hear what the rates are going to be. This includes a 10% placeholder within this budget, which is normally recommended by school care. Hopefully it goes down and we're able to gain some efficiencies in it. Certainly hope it doesn't go up.
One extra note, though, it's only for 6 months, because
Yeah.
we already know what it's going to be January to June. So even though it's a 10% placeholder, it's only for July to December.
And wasn't it around 2 last year? It was really
I
small.
think 2.3
Yeah.
was what the increase was last year, so.
However, out in the health industry, what they're saying is everyone that put off everything with COVID is now going to do it. So it could be a very scary number.
Yeah.
Hopefully not more than 10%.
Yep, okay.
And as you go through this, you can see the breakdown of the various costs, which I think will be helpful to you. And these are also cross-referenced back into the 200 series of each department as requested. So you can see the actual cost of an employee and back to the department.
And one other change here, I approached the town manager asking him, we used to pay our insurance carrier for unemployment compensation insurance to the tune of about $2,000. So here we've now dropped it, and we're just keeping the budget in case we need it, but we didn't see any use of that $2,000 insurance that we've been paying. So here it is. This would be if somebody left employment and was unemployed, and it would be based on their last 3 jobs and proration. And usually when people are leaving here, they're getting new jobs or they're going into retirement, so you don't have a lot of unemployment claims here. So there is no history there because it wasn't insurance before. But just wanted to point that out.
So the only way they would be able to collect is if we fired them.
It goes sometimes it doesn't just have to be fired, though.
Could you resign and get it?
Say it again?
Could you resign and get work?
Yes.
You can.
But in my case, most of it would be charged to my previous employer because I haven't been here that long. But that's what they do. They look back and it's a cost share with the last 3 companies you've been with.
Last 3 companies. Okay, thank you.
Page 35 is miscellaneous executive operating expenses.
Hey, that's a short one.
It's a hard one.
800 series.
Page 37 is insurance. This is for property and liability insurance. I did put in a 9% increase, which is the cap. You signed a 3-year cap agreement, so this is the most we could be charged. Again, hopefully it would be less, but would not be any more than the 9% that I put there. If we do get the numbers any time in the process here, I will approach this board or the budget committee to reduce it.
Do you remember how much it was last year it went up?
Yeah, if you look at page 38, you can see, oh, the percentage?
Yeah.
I do not, but you have to take into account that it's based on a whole bunch of variables, your claims, your loss ratio, your property values. But the cost was $198,000, then $225,000, and I've got us in at $245,000. And we do put this out to the other funds, so I charge general fund, water fund, sewer fund, electric fund. I think I'm missing one, Up Whalen.
Page 39, health officer.
This is a large increase, but the board approved a 3-tier rate increase for the health officer and the health inspector back in October 2020. So this is the last agreed upon increase to those two positions. Page 42 is the welfare department.
$100 series, 200 series, 300, 600, office supply, 800, meetings, professional development. Any questions?
Yeah, I have on direct rent, and the town manager decreased it by $6,000. Was there a particular reason you felt that, Jim?
Frankly, to get to the goal of 7.5%.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Amy and I did look at it and tried to up it to more actual numbers, and then we did approach Jim saying, hey, you need to come up with 6,000 more, so we took it back down a little.
I had it circled too.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
I'm just wondering.
How come?
Hard to predict.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's going to go.
Any other questions?
I can tell you that I did bring in, for reimbursed welfare this year was $25,563.27, and those were former liens placed on property that were collected from sales or refinances this year. Back to the general fund.
But it is unanticipated revenue, which is good.
Okay.
Page 45, debt service.
Not much we can do with that one.
Yeah, I'm saying it is what it is. We've already put our foot in this one.
Page 47, sewer fund operating transfer.
And this one is calculated on what we will projected to spend at the end of the year.
So based on the meeting we had the other day with, regarding the rate study, I think we need to make this a revisit.
Okay.
There was a lot of questions about what is actually in the current debt service and what projects have been tied into it. and whether or not they've been updated to reflect the rate model and which number is in the rate model. So they're going back to the drawing board. We hopefully, by the 1st of November, we'll have a better handle on what this number is going to look like. So if we could just mark this as a revisit.
Yep.
So it is at the end of 2022, you will transfer what is spent that year in 2022. That will be, so now you're projecting for 2023. For a while, this was 1 year behind. In my understanding, we are in the current year.
So that, all good questions.
Okay, I'll let it go.
All things that we've got
I'll
to
let it
talk
go.
with the rate people
I guess
about.
I would like to meet with you to understand what you think it is, what it should be, and the history of it.
Okay. And the other person you need to do is John Burt. Was John Burt had us doing it a year behind, so I'll tell you, but you may want to talk to John.
Going to planning,
Planning and zoning tab, page 1.
100 series, 200 series, 300, 500, 600, 800.
Am I
Oh, the
correct?
page. You can see the legal.
Yep. We can just stick in the other. My understanding that the advertisement is increased because we're advertising the decisions?
Zoning board, 41304.
Yep.
I left that in because the board is still working on their rules of procedure, and they may, as a result of that, decide they want to present to the budget committee with that additional.
Okay.
Have not been publishing the notices of decision in the paper, so that's why the actual looks nothing like
Okay.
it would.
So they're still going to need to make decisions about that, is what you're telling me.
Well, if the budget committee and ultimately everyone votes on the increase, I will make that adjustment and need to spend it.
Okay.
But the conversation at the budget committee was, we'll just have the applicants pay. Well, we would have the applicants pay. We'd double the notice fee to cover the legal notice and the notice of decision, but this is just to have the expense line to be able to charge out of.
Right.
So this would be a doubling of the tax impact on them.
So we really should put somewhere as a note down here, X amount will come back in fees. So when you see the larger amount, they also know they're getting this much revenue.
Correct.
So that, can we note that?
What doesn't exist is the one-to-one ratio. I'm trying to get the paper to print the smallest ad, but once you put in a notice of decision with the new statutory requirements of the findings of fact, that's going to be an expensive ad.
People like to see it, hear it.
How would you quantify the fees, though?
Yeah.
It's all the fees, right? Or all the fees for advertising?
All the
No.
fees are for advertising. So right now, an applicant pays
Just
$150 to put a notice in the paper. I'm lucky if I can get the paper to print it for the $150. I don't get a double grab, though, from the applicant. We don't have a mechanism to come back and say, oh, we got the bill for your ad back. It was $165. We don't.
But we could change our fee if we're not, don't have a fee that properly covers what it is. So that's a change in fee that
That's a
should
change
take
in
place.
fee. It should get closer to a one.
Okay. So you should look at change of fee. But whatever that revenue is, then they know that it's offset.
Correct.
Okay.
Page 4, planning board.
100 series, 200, 300.
300, outside
Outside
services. You've overspent by 4,000 this year. Why? And then you want 7.5. Was there something that happened, or is there an offset somewheres?
So the original request last year to the budget committee was for $7,500 for an $8,000 project. There was 4,000 in the 21 budget. They approved 4,000 in the 22 budget. We had a contract with the provider for an $8,000 project. So I'm just going to turn to Jim and Casey and say they found the balance because of that existing contract. I'm going to go again and ask for 7,500 for the next phase of that same project.
And what's the name of the project?
Impact fees.
Okay.
So this is one of those items where the Budget Committee made the cut last year and simply said, there's no reason the town manager can't do this.
Okay.
Which I had a conversation with Tavis and KC, and we figured that and legal, that it's better to get somebody impartial who's an expert in that field to do this than myself.
And to be clear, depending on the outcome of the work this year, that line may not need to exist for impact fees next year, but at the current, that's got to be the ask.
500?
Just let me go back to, did you say that there was 4,000 that came from the year before encumbered?
I had 4,000 to spend this year. And I
That's
spent
it. Okay, it
with the
wasn't.
approval from.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you said something about encumbered. Nope, okay.
Did a line item transfer from another budget.
Okay, no problem. Fine.
600?
I did try that, to answer your question. I tried to do a pay it forward, KC said no.
That was, okay. It was one of those. Okay, gotcha. I thought there was something.
600 series? 800?
Page 7, the planning department.
100 salaries, 200 insurance, social security, 300
Yeah, I have one, 341, iPad Surface 6 months. How come it's only 6 months? Under telephone. I'm looking in the back and it says, I found the last line, it says iPad service 6 months. Should it be 12 months?
No, because when they were purchased, the contract covers 2 iPads. Half of the contract is paid out of building, half of it's paid out of plant.
Okay,
I thought you were asking the other question about phone, which I don't have an answer to because we just got new phones. So anywhere you see phones in these budgets, I can't speak to that number at the moment, but that's.
Casey will take care of all that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not worried about that. I just found it odd, only 6 months for your iPad service, but between the two makes sense.
I suppose we could change the note. That's a year for one and then a year in the other, but it
Or half year, this is split with
doesn't. Yes. building.
Brewster Building, and I wouldn't have asked the question.
No, not Brewster Building,
What building?
the building inspector, code officer.
Oh, okay. Well, then, and we're going to see that in the other? Okay.
You'll see it, yeah.
I didn't pick it up in the other one. Okay. This is the code.
500? 600 series? 800? Okay, where are we headed next?
Page 11 to the
Page
Brewster
11?
Building.
Okay. 100 series, 200, 300, 400.
I have one on 435, and it's 600 for the painting. Is that going to do all the painting, the entry? And I imagine that's down outside, that's all rusty?
It's stairway touch-up, main hall touch-up, some touch-up in here, yes,
Outside?
inside.
Well, we need to take a look at coming into this building. We've thrown so much salt that it's all rusting. And it's the back entrance. And all the bottom 6 inches are pitted, and same on the door, and it's from salt. So that's why I asked the question.
I can certainly look at it, but to be frank, we sort of pulled a number out of the air because no one will give us a price to paint in this building,
Well, my feeling
or
is,
in or on, for that matter.
I would have liked a bigger number.
Oh, that's fine.
Concerned, because, I mean, look at the radiators up here, but also that outside entranceway. So if you want to take some of the money for miscellaneous repairs and put it up for painting, would feel very comfortable with that, because it's something that people can see that really needs to be done, and that's easier to keep in.
600? 700? 800?
Page 16, code enforcement.
$100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600. Office supplies, postage, gasoline. Gasoline, I'm assuming, could get adjusted as well.
Correct.
800.
Conservation and economic development are the next two in this tab, but those are scheduled for the next 2 evenings. So I think that's all you have for Tavis tonight.
You're done. Wasn't too bloody.
Okay, is that it for tonight?
Nope, it's me now, finance and IT.
Oh, let's get after that one.
So it should take no time at all.
Yeah, we'll just get the pencil out there.
Yes. Good night, thank you. So under the finance and IT tab, the first department is finance. 1.
100 series?
Yep. 112, we had a clerical salary there, and we had no money for it, hadn't any other year. Is that a misposting, or was there some reason we did that?
No, I used one of the secretaries that's in the payroll instead of using the consultant one. So since we paid her through payroll,
Okay,
I used a known commodity.
okay, that's
Is that
fine.
clear?
Yep, takes care of them.
Thank you.
I think that's my big question.
Probably the only question, right?
It is.
200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 800, travel and meetings, professional development. Okay,
Page 5 is technology services.
100, 200, 300.
300. I think the town manager cut the phone.
So this goes to the question. So we literally just, last year, as a capital, in '22, capital outlay, a little shy of $10,000 was to buy a new phone system for town hall, parks and rec, highway, not police, fire, and library, or electric. So the bills are going to change. So I had put the whole thing in my budget, but everyone else has it all in their budgets, and I just don't have the information to pull it out of everyone's budget and put it in mine. So it was a double. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It was in the budgets twice.
it was. I put it in because I'm going to be billed on a monthly basis, but everyone still has it in their budgets. I just haven't got a bill yet, so I haven't been able to quantify the change.
So we're just going to leave it this way, and you'll deal with it next year.
That's correct.
Okay?
400, 500, 600, 700,
800 in terms of training. There's none used this year. There was a little used in 2021. Is there going to be any use of that?
Yep, so this was, we budgeted for fishing, spam fishing, that kind of fishing.
You went out
Fishing with
fishing,
Training, and then Block 5 gave it to us for free this year. So that is going to be an ongoing cost, but we get monthly little training snippets, and they send us emails every now and then that might be a little bogus, and we're supposed to recognize them. So there's training that we are currently getting, but we weren't being charged. We will be getting charged in the future.
I'd like that noted. So when the Budget Committee sees that, saying that we got it free in 2022, and we will not get it free in 2023.
You could do it in your backup, easy enough.
So noted.
Now, I just have to have you jump back down to capital outlay, page 27. For one capital outlay. So on an annual basis, Block 5, our technology consultants
Excuse me.
recommend projects that we should be entertaining. So there were some small ones I tried to get, I got done this year in '22. There was 2 big ones that the police commissioners helped fund through animal control. So we tried to move some into '22. And we left 7 projects. If you'd like, I could list them off, but they're on page 28. All the different little projects, and I did group them under one capital outlay.
One of the other things that we've asked our IT provider to do is to try and look out 5 years, basically develop an asset management plan that gives us an idea of what we should be looking at. Because a couple of these, to me, seem like they're very familiar, and it's IT language, so I don't understand it at all, but they're going to work on that, and hopefully by the end of the year, they'll be able to deliver us a plan that hopefully will be able to alleviate some of these spikes going forward.
And they've looked at what we have in here, so they know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Makes sense to them?
Yeah,
Okay.
and this is my 3rd budget.
Yep.
with them, and every year it's like, we'll be in good shape after this. But they say it every year. So I'm going to tell you, we're going to be in good shape after, if we attack these things.
Well, I like the answer of the asset management plan, because then they can't say we're done and then all of a sudden come up with it. They really need to take a look at that longer time.
Right, and that was at the recommendation of the town manager.
Yeah, I like that.
Something they don't do for any of their communities, but they think it's a great idea, and they probably will be doing it in other communities too.
Good.
Gave them
Perfect.
we just had that conversation last week or this week, and so they definitely will be working on it in the next couple months.
Good.
And that is it.
Quick evening.
That is it.
Didn't have a lot of questions.
Nice.
No problems.
My supper hasn't even settled
You
yet.
want us to go back to
I,
the police?
one thing
yes.
I'll say is this is a well laid out budget. It's easy to go through. Just doesn't take much time. So thank you and thank you.
I appreciate that. There is one last thing Brad just reminded me of. Last week when the police was here, and the police commission through Captain Livy made some recommended changes, no motions were made. We just went along with it. I did write them on the sheet you have in front of you. It's these ones here. I was hoping you'd entertain some motions to get them in the minutes, or is that not what you do with police commissioner changes?
It's not our budget. It's the police commission's budget. I mean, we saw it, but we're not putting them in the budget. They've got to vote to put it in and then justify it with the budget committee is my feeling. I don't know where everybody else is.
Okay, which they did, and I'm okay with that answer then. It just is the change from town manager to BoS, it's going to be here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to leave it here, but I'm okay with no
Yeah.
motions being made.
And the timing was challenging for us. We finished the budget essentially on a Sunday, Monday. We received some feedback from them the Friday before. We made those adjustments the Friday before. We hit print, to use Paul O'Brien's term, pencils were down, and then they came forward with some adjustments, and it's like, the books are all printed. We're not making these changes at this point. If we have to make them, we'll make them when we get to the budget committee cycle. So it's your discretion. I agree with you. It is their budget.
Do
And
we-
they felt comfortable about making those, so.
Do we leave it just the way it is and put a note
Yep.
that we, as the budget, Board of Selectmen reviewed it, see no problem, but we're not adding it to the budget? I mean, these lines just as this.
Seems fair.
All right.
I'm good with that.
You there?
That's what I was going to suggest. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody agree with that?
Yes. Sounds good.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss something, but I understand your rationale.
Don't
All
want to
right.
step on anybody's toes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
45.